Summary of the book Surrounded by Setbacks. Turning Obstacles into Successes When Everything Fails is an inspiring and useful book written by Thomas Erikson. This book provides deep insights and practical advice on how to deal with setbacks and turns them into opportunities for growth and success. Erikson, known for his famous book Surrounded by Fools, uses his third and attractive style to present the reader as effective tools to overcome failure and achieve success in various aspects of life. This book is a comprehensive guide for those who seek to develop themselves and overcome challenges on an ongoing basis. Identifying Setbacks. How to understand setbacks and determine their causes in a book surrounded by setbacks. Transforming obstacles into recovery when everything fails. The author, Thomas Erikson, discusses in depth the topic of identifying setbacks. Erikson explains that a good understanding of setbacks is the first step towards turning them into successes. In this book, Thomas shares real stories of people who face major setbacks in their lives, such as losing their jobs or the failure of their business projects, and how they were able to overcome these obstacles. Identifying setbacks begins by identifying the root causes. Is this failure due to a lack of planning? Is it due to a lack of resources? Or are there unexpected external factors causing this? Erikson points out that identifying the causes helps in developing effective strategies to prevent their recurrence in the future. For example, he tells the story of a young businessman who lost his first project due to a lack of planning financially, but after analyzing and identifying the reasons, he succeeded in launching another, more successful project, using the lessons he learned from his first experience. Thomas Erikson also highlights the importance of looking at setbacks as opportunities to learn and grow. By changing our perspective on failure, we can turn it into a source of strength. The book provides practical techniques for dealing with negative emotions that relapse, such as feelings of frustration or despair, is accompanied by inspirational stories. Erikson explains how individuals can use these feelings as motivation to work harder and achieve greater success. One of the practical examples that the book discusses is the story of a businesswoman who suffered major setbacks when her first project failed. Instead of giving up, she analyzed the reasons that led to its failure. She used Erikson's advice to develop a new plan. By applying those advice, she succeeded in launching a new project that has become one of the most successful projects in its field. Erikson encourages readers to avoid falling into the trap of negative thinking and excessive generalization when faced with setbacks. Instead, he recommends focusing on what can be controlled and learning from every experience. A book surrounded by setbacks. Turning obstacles into successes when everything fails provides practical tools and strategies to analyze failure and understand it in depth, enabling individuals to overcome obstacles with confidence and flexibility. This approach to dealing with setbacks makes the book a valuable reference for everyone who seeks to transform their lives into sustainable successes by applying what presented by Thomas Erikson in Surrounded by Setback. You can turn to growth and prosperity adapting to failure strategies for accepting failure. And using it as an opportunity to learn and growth in this book, Thomas Erikson presents and discusses how to adapt to failure and turn it into an opportunity to learn and grow. The book focuses on developing effective strategies for accepting failure and benefiting from it instead of surrender to him. Erikson begins by explaining that failure is not the end of the road, but rather an integral part of the journey to success. By providing vivid examples and inspiring stories, he shows how successful personalities did not reach the pinnacle of success without going through many failure stations. One of these stories concerns a young entrepreneur who lost his first project. Due to his lack of experience in the market, instead of giving up, he used his failure as motivation to improve his skills. The book also presents practical techniques for dealing with the negative feelings that accompany failure, such as feelings of frustration and despair. Erikson stresses the importance of changing the outlook towards failure from being an obstacle to being an opportunity for personal and professional growth through understanding the real reasons behind failure. A person can develop new plans and strategies to achieve his goals. One of the effective strategies offered by Thomas Erikson is to build a strong support system. He talks about the importance of friends, family, and colleagues in providing psychological and moral support during difficult times. By sharing experiences and learning from the mistakes of others, the individual can reduce the impact of failure and moving forward with confidence toward success. The book also addresses how to use failure as a tool to stimulate creativity and innovation by analyzing what did not work and why the individual can discover new methods and innovative ideas to overcome obstacles. Erikson explains, through an innovative story of a prominent technological person, how failure in a specific project led him to develop an idea completely and as a new, more successful and influential thought. Erikson stresses that accepting failure is an essential step in achieving sustainable success. Instead of fearing failure, the individual must learn how to confront it with courage and benefit from the lessons learned to improve his performance and develop his skills. This book is an important reference for everyone who seeks to develop effective strategies for coping with failure and achieving success in your professional and personal life. Self-motivation, in a book surrounded by setbacks, turning obstacles into successes when everything fails. Thomas Erikson offers practical insights on how to motivate oneself and maintain focus on goals even in times of adversity. Self-motivation is an essential component to success. Success, especially when circumstances become tough and challenges become more difficult. Thomas Erikson points out the importance of clearly defining goals and dividing them into small, achievable steps. This success not only facilitates the process of reaching goals, but also enhances the feeling of accomplishment with achieving every small step. In this book, Erikson tells the story of a professional athlete. He was facing great difficulties in his training. Applying the strategy of dividing goals enabled this athlete to achieve small daily achievements, which strengthened his motivation and pushed him to achieve his larger goal. One of the basic elements that the writer discusses is the ability to reward oneself when achieving small achievements. These rewards enhance the feeling of progress and give additional impetus to continue. The book provides many examples of people who succeeded in overcoming setbacks thanks to a system of self-rewards, which made them feel that their efforts were worth it. The writer also focuses on the importance of the surrounding environment in motivating the self. The writer advises surrounding her. They can provide continuous encouragement and motivation. In one of the inspiring stories, he tells about a businesswoman who was facing great challenges in her project. Thanks to the support of her friends and family, she was able to overcome these challenges, regain her enthusiasm, and redirect her efforts towards achieving success. Erikson also highlights the importance of controlling the personal mindset and adopting positive thinking. By thinking about past successes and focusing on possibilities instead of obstacles, individuals can maintain a high level. From the motivation in the book, Erikson deals with the story of a student who was suffering from repeated academic failure. By changing his thinking and focusing on his strengths, this student was able to improve his performance and achieve his academic goals. In short, this book is surrounded by relapse. It presents effective strategies for self-motivation by clearly setting goals, rewarding the self, and taking advantage of the surrounding environment. Controlling personal mindset enables anyone to stay motivated and focused on achieving their goals despite the challenges. This book is not just a theoretical guide, but rather a practical source full of tools and advice that can be applied in daily life to achieve success. Positive thinking, in a book surrounded by setbacks. Transforming obstacles into successes when everything fails. Author Thomas Erikson highlights the importance of positive thinking and how to develop it to face difficulties. Erikson emphasizes that positive thinking is not just a passing feeling, but rather a skill that can be developed to enhance the ability to adapt to challenges and achieve successes. The author begins by explaining how positive thinking directly affects performance and results. Thomas narrates the story of a businessman who was facing great difficulties in his project. Instead of surrendering to negative thoughts, he decided to change his way of thinking and focus on the positive aspects of his life and work. This change in mentality not only helped him overcome obstacles, but also helped him discover new opportunities and achieve unexpected successes. Erikson presents in Surrounded by Relapse, practical strategies for developing positive thinking. Among these strategies, he stresses the importance of controlling internal speech. Negative thoughts can hinder progress, so it is necessary to replace them with positive thoughts that enhance self-confidence and motivate work. In the book, Erikson shares a personal experience when he faced a major challenge in his professional life. How changing his internal speech from negative to positive helped him overcome this difficult period. The book also discusses how to use meditation and mindfulness as tools to enhance positive thinking. By focusing on the present and appreciating the moment, an individual can reduce stress and increase his ability to deal with stress. Erikson tells the story of a woman who was suffering of chronic stress and how practicing meditation regularly helped her improve her psychological state and increase her ability to think positively. In addition, Erikson points out the role of the surrounding environment in promoting positive thinking. It is recommended to surround her and provide support and encouragement. The writer tells of the experience of an athlete who was suffering from great pressure and how to support his team. And his friends helped him maintain his positive thinking and return to competing with strength. Putting goals in a book Surrounded by Setbacks, turning obstacles into successes when everything fails. Thomas Erikson highlights the importance of setting goals as a basic step to achieving success. Erikson explains that setting realistic goals and achieving them be the key to transforming. Setbacks turn into opportunities for growth. Erikson begins by explaining that goals must be clear and well-defined. Without clarity in goals, it becomes difficult to track progress and achieve achievements. Erikson tells the story of a young businessman who was suffering from distraction and loss of focus due to vague goals after he learned how to set specific and achievable goals. To measure, he was able to achieve noticeable progress in his project and achieve tangible successes. The book also explains the importance of dividing large goals into small goals that can be achieved in the short term. This approach helps avoid feeling overwhelmed and enhances the feeling of accomplishment with achieving each small goal. For example, Erikson shares the story of a businesswoman who she is trying to launch a new project instead of focusing only on the final goal. She divided her project into small stages, which helped her to progress steadily and achieve each stage successfully. One of the important aspects that the book discusses is the necessity of making goals achievable and realistic. The writer explains that goals that are too ambitious may lead to frustration and failure if it was not well thought out. By setting goals that are commensurate with the available resources and capabilities, individuals can achieve continuous progress and maintain motivation. Strategic planning in a book Surrounded by Setbacks. Thomas Erikson reviews the importance of strategic planning and how to develop effective plans to overcome obstacles. Strategic planning is a critical element for achieving success, as it helps in transforming setbacks into opportunities for growth and progress. Erikson begins by explaining that strategic planning requires a clear vision of goals and objectives. The individual must define what he wants to achieve specifically and clearly. In this book, the author tells the story of a startup company that was facing major challenges in the market by developing an accurate strategic plan. The company was able to identify strengths and weaknesses and exploit the available opportunities, which led to its success in the end. The author also discusses how to analyze the surrounding environment and determine the factors that may affect the achievement of goals. The author explains that a comprehensive analysis of the environment helps in developing strategies that respond to challenges and take advantage of opportunities. The author presents an inspiring story about a CEO who was facing major challenges in expanding his company. Through analyzing the market and developing appropriate strategies, he succeeded in overcoming these challenges and achieving sustainable growth. One of these basic tools that the book discusses is using God's analysis to evaluate strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. This analysis helps to understand the current situation and make informed decisions. The author tells a personal story about a project that failed at its beginning due to not conducting sufficient analysis, and how applying this analysis helped him in his subsequent projects to achieve great successes. Strategic planning also includes developing alternative plans to face unexpected circumstances. Erikson explains that preparing for changes and adapting to them is a key to success. This book discusses the story of a sports team that faced many unexpected changes in the schedule of matches thanks to the presence of alternative plans that enabled the team to adapt to these new circumstances and win the tournament. Erikson also emphasizes the importance of following up and evaluating plans periodically. He explains that planning is not a process fix, but must be flexible and adjustable based on changes in the environment and goals. Erikson tells the story of a business project that succeeded in the beginning, but as market conditions changed, the team had to reevaluate and modify its plans to maintain success. Psychological flexibility in this book, Turning Obstacles into Successes by author Thomas Erikson, is done. Great focus on the concept of psychological flexibility and how to develop it to face ongoing challenges and changing circumstances. The author stresses that psychological flexibility is the basic skill that enables individuals to adapt to failure and turn it into growth. The author explains that psychological flexibility begins with accepting failure as a natural part of life through stories. Real and personal experiences show how people who enjoy psychological resilience are able to stand up again after setbacks. The book tells the story of a businessman who failed in several projects before he was able to launch a successful project. This success would not have happened without his ability to learn from his mistakes and adapt to new circumstances. The book also deals with practical strategies for developing psychological resilience. Among these strategies, the author stresses the importance of maintaining positive thinking and focusing on solutions instead of problems. He tells the story of a woman who was facing great pressure at her work and how adopting positive thinking helped her overcome these pressures and achieve new successes using the tools that the book discusses it to develop psychological flexibility. It is the practice of meditation and mindfulness. These tools help reduce stress, increase concentration, and the ability to adapt to stress. The writer shares a personal experience on how to use meditation as a means to enhance his psychological flexibility during periods of high stress. Psychological flexibility also includes the ability to adapt to rapid changes in the surrounding environment. In this book, effective strategies are presented for managing stress and pressure resulting from setbacks. Erikson focuses on the importance of understanding that stress is an integral part of life and that the ability to deal with it can be the key to success and personal transformation. One of the techniques that the book presents is the importance of organization and setting priorities. He explains the author says that stress often arises from a feeling of confusion and chaos. By organizing time and determining the most important tasks, the individual can reduce stress and increase productivity. The author tells the story of an employee in a technology company who was suffering from increasing work pressure. By applying organizing techniques and setting priorities, he was able to improve his performance and reduce stress levels significantly. Note: the book also discusses the importance of physical exercise as an effective means of managing stress. The author explains how physical activity can relieve stress and improve mood. The book deals with the story of a businesswoman who was facing a high level of stress as a result of the pressures at work by incorporating daily exercise into her routine. She found that the level of stress has decreased significantly and her ability to deal with stress has improved. In addition, Erikson stresses the importance of obtaining strong social support. Support from friends and family can be an important factor in reducing stress. By setting aside daily time for meditation, the individual can reduce stress levels and increase self-awareness. The book shares the personal experience of Erikson himself about how he uses meditation as a way to deal with his stress in daily life. In this book, the author focuses on the importance of developing personal skills as a basic means of dealing with failure and achieving success. Erikson believes that enhancing personal skills helps individuals face challenges with greater confidence and adapt to circumstances. The author stresses that one of the most important personal skills is the ability to communicate effectively. By improving communication skills, individuals can build stronger and more supportive relationships in their professional and personal lives. The book also addresses the importance of time management and organization skills. The author points out that failure in time management can lead to stress and the inability to achieve goals. The book provides practical strategies for organizing time, such as preparing timetables and setting priorities. Critical thinking is another skill that the book focuses on. The author explains that the ability to analyze situations and make informed decisions can be the difference between success and failure. The book tells the story of an engineer who was facing problems, complexity in his project. By developing critical thinking skills, he was able to find innovative and effective solutions to those problems, which led to the success of the project. Psychological flexibility, the ability to adapt to changes and overcome failure. Finally, evaluate the book. This book is surrounded by setbacks, turning obstacles into successes when everything fails, written by Thomas. Erikson received a good rating from readers on most websites. The book received an average rating of 3.67, based on 1,077 reviews. This rating indicates that many readers found the writing useful and inspiring, as Erikson provides practical advice and true stories about how to deal with setbacks and turn them into opportunities for success. They praise the author's ability to provide concrete and applicable strategies in daily life. You were with a summary of the book Surrounded by Setbacks, turning obstacles into successes when everything fails. The book was written by Thomas Erikson,